Hey guys, welcome back to my show. In today's episode, I have a really special guest with me today. She is what you would call famous. She has appeared on Henry Danger, The Charmers, Lemonade Wars, and she was a former 2018 KidzBop member. I'm so excited to talk to her. Her name is Indi Star. Hi Indi, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking all the time to be on the show with me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. I'm
So
excited.
please introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little bit about your background story.
Yeah, so I'm Indi Star. I am an actress and a musician. I started acting when I was around 8. Then I got KidzBop when I was 11, so that kind of transformed me into singing. And then I just started working on music and releasing my own music after I got out of KidzBop and started social media, and now I'm here.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing, right? Like how you started off so young, like at 8. How would you say how's acting at such a young age impacted your life?
Oh gosh, I feel like I never went to school. I was homeschooled in first grade with my 2 other siblings, so I never really was around other kids my age unless I was on set or in acting class. So I grew up just being around adults, so I feel like it matured me, I guess, faster, which was good because now whenever I work on set, I know how to work with adults. Just kind of stuff like that, just maturing faster and just understanding the world of acting, I guess.
So, like, you said that went to school, like you got homeschooled, right? So would you say that you kind of missed like those big events like homecoming or big events like rallies and football games and things like that? Would you say that you missed an essential part of your childhood?
I would, but also not at the same time. So I graduated when I was 15, and all of my other friends, they're all in school, so like they'll invite me to like football games and stuff, so I feel like I live kind of through that. Being in social media, a lot of my friends are in public school, but a lot of them too are also homeschooled, so they know the struggle, I guess. So we had like some social media proms, which were fun, and then I just go to a bunch of like events and see my friends there, so I kind of think of that as like homecoming or something. So I'm not really like sad that I missed out on any of that because I feel like I have my own version of it.
Yeah, I think like just being happy with as long as you're happy with what you're doing, and I think what you're doing itself is such an amazing job. You're already like graduated at 16 already. Like how did you did you graduate high school?
Yeah, when I was around 12 or 13, when I was in 8th grade, I started this program with my 2 other siblings because we're all 18 months apart. So we're super close in age, and they're both older than me. So they were both in high school while doing homeschool. They were in high school, but we were all homeschooled. And we just started this program where it was like 4 years of high school in 1 year. So we all did that together, and it took us like 2 years to complete it because we were procrastinating it. So yeah, I graduated at 15, and it was fun.
Oh wow, that's crazy though. Like everyone out there who's actually being homeschooled right now, if this is something you're interested in, Indi, could you explain this more a little bit for those of them listening who are interested in graduating early?
Yeah, I mean, I know you can take the ChessBeat test. That's what my friend took, and he is graduated now because he took it and he got through the test. I thought it was really fun. I've always been homeschooled, so I've just always learned from my house and like my parents teaching me, and it wasn't much different, but it was just we learned a lot faster, and it was a lot more in 1 year, I guess. But I thought it was fun. I think it's definitely worth trying to figure out how to do that because I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, again, as I said earlier, you loved it, you enjoyed it, and then you also got something out of it. You still completed your education, and which I think is important again. even if you're a social media star, I think that education part of it is really important. And I think as long as you just like, have things done, it's all perfect, right? And so like often I've heard like kids are homeschooled, especially when they're in the entertainment industry or entering it. So even though like you did like homeschooling, how did you manage your time between like school as well as like your career?
Yeah, I do a lot of different things. So I love acting, I love songwriting and putting out music, and also social media. Social media is a lot easier to kind of fit in between all of those things, because if I had like a studio session, I have to plan a day and then go, obviously. And then for acting, it's kind of whatever you book, that just has to take full priority, I guess, because I can always schedule. When I did school, I could always schedule my school just on set or just whenever I had time. And then for music, I'm the one who's like planning the dates for studio time. So I guess acting was more of like, if I had to go on set, I had to be free those days. But other than that, it's kind of hectic. But I figure it out.
So you kind of like had the kind of like somewhat of liberty to choose when you are studying and when you're not.
Yeah, definitely. And when I did the 4 years of high school in 1 year, it took us like 2 years to complete it, because I would have to, not that I had to prioritize other stuff before my school, because school is very important, but when I'm working, that's kind of, I could always do school whenever I'm not working. So working was always like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess I was reversed then, right? Normally, like, there's like, normally for people, what comes is like, it's like school, then job. And I think like you completing your education early probably gives you more time for like, future acting projects, future singing projects, right? And so you're basically young Sheldon. You can really say that, right?
Yeah, I never watched Young Sheldon, but I know like the idea of the show. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's really cool though. I mean, like, finishing education early to do what you love, I think that's just really important. Like, if you love something, just go for it, even if it means like doing what you did and not speeding through, but like rather like focusing on the school part in the early 2 years and then spending the rest of your life doing what you love most.
Definitely.
So based on this, like, how has this like changed you as a person? Would you say you would be the same person you are now with this whole homeschool thing and then acting and KidzBop and everything? Would you have been the same person without all of these things as well, or do you think this has changed you in some way?
Oh, it's definitely changed me. I don't know what I would be like if I hadn't if I hadn't decided to become an actress, because I was 8 when I started this, but I am originally from Massachusetts, so I definitely wouldn't be living out in California if I didn't want to become an actress. So that would have been a big change, just still living in Massachusetts and going to school with everybody. I don't know. I feel like it would be just so completely different, especially because I grew up with my siblings, so we probably wouldn't be as close. So yeah, it's definitely different. Yeah,
actually that's like really interesting what you said, like like how like your acting career and everything has like kind of impacted you in such a big way that if it was taken away, it would basically leave you on your original spot where you were at Massachusetts, and your life could be completely different. So it's kind of crazy how things work out, and like you end up going new places, exploring new things. So did you always know that this is something you wanted to do, or did this just pop up when you were 8 years old?
I started dancing when I was 3. I did ballet and the Nutcracker with my sister, and she was always like a year older than me, so we were never in the same parts, but I did that with my sister and we loved it. My sister loved to sing. She was always singing, look at me, I'm dancing kind of thing, and I loved doing that. I was a little bit more shy, so I still liked doing that, but a little bit more held back. And then when we were around 8, we started trying to audition for like musicals in our town and stuff like that. And our parents just really saw how much we loved it. And they worked from home doing their clothing business. So we just decided to try it out for 3 months and see if we loved it. And we did. So we just moved out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like I think just starting off, like like when you're young, kind of gives you like that leeway compared to like when you're older. Like for me, like I started singing songwriting when I was 13. So, I mean, obviously it's not hard. It just takes more time since you're practicing, and the more you practice, you get better. But again, when you start off young, you kind of have a grip of it a little sooner and can start doing bigger things when you're older compared to doing it vice versa.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like I just already know so much about the business. Obviously, if you join when you're like even 18, you can still succeed. A lot of people have done that. I've always grown up with this in the creative mindset, I guess. So I'm really thankful and grateful for that.
I think what you said is like truly like empowering, like, knowing that like, just like having, like, even if you don't have a music family, it always has some, like your family always plays some part or some role in your life, be it in your career, be it in your personal life. That brings me to my last and final thing for you. What advice would you give to others who are either interested in pursuing something creative or planning on getting homeschooled, or any sort of like, advice you want to give?
I'd probably say, I say this a lot, just kind of jump into it. I love the word jump. It's great because you can just go for it, really. If you really want to do something, don't hesitate, because obviously if you do, it's not gonna happen. So just go for it, really. If you want to like start learning the piano, just start. It can be difficult, and I know some people's mindsets is a lot harder to think that way. I think it's a little bit difficult for me to think that way too, but that's why I push so hard on it, to just jump into something. And also to just try to reach out to people that are also super interested in the same things that you are, because they're going to motivate you. And if you see what they're doing, you're going to be motivated to just continue and keep doing it. I love having friends in the industry because it's so inspiring for me. So probably that.
Yeah, I think that's like great feedback. I mean, great advice, because like, just having that connection and having like people like, or people even you don't know, like connecting together, forming like this big group where you can kind of like bounce up ideas and just try, like, as you said, just keep trying. Do not like, just like if you want to do something, just go for it. I think that's like 3 main words that every teenager or every person wants to hear, because I think it's important for them to understand, or like for them to know, or like, because again, you're a 16-year-old too. You may have graduated early, but you're still 16. And I think coming from you, those words really mean a lot, because every teenager wants to try something, but is often like scared because of, I don't know, friend issues, parental issues, anything kind of like big issue, And so with you saying that, it kind of like, especially since like you're a social media influencer, I'm pretty sure like, that kind of plays a role in like how you can like be a voice for all teenagers around the world, even if it's like, even in the entertainment industry. I'm pretty sure people, when they look at you, they think of you as a role model. And I think that's like the important part of social media too, that like, you can spread messages, even if it's through entertainment or even if it's through fun dances and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I had so much fun talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone. And this is the end of the episode. I'll be linking Indi's website into the show notes. Feel free to check out her music, watch her shows, and watch her KidzBop videos. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day.